Facts About Uranus by the only Zachary John Lawful. How many days are on Uranus? A day on Uranus is 7 hours and 14 minutes. How many years is on Uranus? The year on Uranus is about 4.6 billion years. That's a big fact. What planets are close to Uranus? Saturn and Neptune is close to Uranus. Here's a video about Uranus. It's not really.
Huh. Oh, hey. Sorry, you just caught me looking at Uranus. You know, to me, Uranus is the most fascinating part of the universe. I could spend hours exploring Uranus. In fact, I'm about to make a whole video about what happens in Uranus. Alright, I'm just getting laughs out of the way so that we can focus properly on the subject matter, calmly and scientifically. Get those giggles out of your system. This is a serious video. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start calling it Uranus rather than Uranus so everyone has a chance to concentrate here. Otherwise, all hope is lost. Be sure to check out our video on Mars, too. Link coming up at the end. And you're going to want to stay through to find out about Uranus, though, right? I'm Mike with List25, and I am the master of Uranus, sorry. And this is 25 fascinating facts about Uranus. 25. Where the name comes from. This name is causing all kinds of distractions today, but where did it come from in the first place? Who is responsible for this madness? For the answer to that question, you have to go all the way back to the ancient Romans. They established a tradition of naming planets after Roman gods. Back in those days, they could only make out 5 planets twinkling in the sky. Being quite a distance further away, naturally, Uranus got left out. The official discovery wasn't made until 1781. Sir William Herschel spotted the celestial object. A legendary figure in astronomy, he often engaged in astronomical activity with his sister, Caroline. Uranus is the name of an ancient god, not a Roman one. The majority of planets are named after Roman deities, yet Uranus is distinctly Greek. The name of our own planet, Earth, is also of Greek origin. 24. The original name was pretty different. I was fascinated to hear that Sir William Herschel had a different name in mind for Uranus. He originally wanted to call it Georgian Sidus, or the Georgian Star, in tribute to King George III. Not many people liked the idea, however. It fell to fellow astronomer Johann Bode to christen the object. How irritating is that? Finding a planet and then not being able to name it? That said, Georgian Sidus sounds weird. Hey, you know what, guys? I just spotted a whole other planet, and because I like socks, I'm going to call it thermal cotton. 23. The Shakespearean connection. Uranus has no less than 27 moons. That's interesting in and of itself, but when you look at the names of these moons, you may find them a little familiar. Miranda, Titania, Oberon. Ring any bells? Well, you're clearly not as well read as I am. They're actually characters in the plays of William Shakespeare. Yeah, I'm down when it comes to the great bard, and he had a lot to say about the stars and planets too. To quote from Julius Caesar, "I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament," which definitely means something. 22. It's a long way from the sun. Because this planet is on the further reaches of our solar system, you know it's a long, long way away. Billions of miles, in fact. The exact number varies according to the hour. Of course, Uranus orbits the sun just like we do, and is closer to, or further from, the big fiery ball at certain times. An average distance between Uranus and the sun is 1.78 billion miles. 21. It takes a heck of a lot of time to orbit the sun. Can you believe that it takes the better part of a century for Uranus to make one orbit around the sun? A butt-numbing 84 years to be precise. That provides 42 hours of daylight and 42 of darkness for the poles at either end. It's actually kind of incredible to think that the journey takes longer than a lot of people actually live down here on Earth. 20. Uranus is lopsided. As it moves around the sun, Uranus tilts at an angle of 98 degrees. This is known as an axial tilt, and it's something we have here on our planet. Our axial tilt is 23.5 degrees, and the effect of this lower number of degrees is amazingly powerful. It dictates factors such as how much sunlight different parts of the globe receive. Why do planets tilt? In the case of the Earth, we were apparently struck by a huge object billions of years ago. The same theory has been applied to Uranus, which has the biggest axial tilt in the galaxy. 19. It moves in a clockwise direction. Tick-tock goes the clock, and so does the planet Uranus. It moves east to west in what's known as a retrograde direction. The Earth rotates counterclockwise, and we're in good company. Only Venus shares the clockwise pattern of Uranus. Another eye-popping fact is that Uranus will roll rather than spin, thanks to being at an angle of nearly 100 degrees. 18. The equators of Uranus. A side effect of the planet being on a tilt, side effect, see what I did there, is that the equators of Uranus are kind of in the wrong place, at least in relation to Earth. Uranus's poles are at a whole nother angle due to its extreme axial tilt, so they occupy the positions where the equators would normally be. 17. Rings. We typically associate rings with the likes of Saturn, though it may surprise you to learn that Uranus has them also. Planetary rings are made up of space debris, like dust and rocks and ice, which whirl around the circumference. How did Uranus get its rings? The theory goes that a moon of Uranus was destroyed somehow, and the particles were drawn into the orbit of the main planet. Uranus has 2 outer rings and an astonishing 11 inner rings. The planet Beyonce has no rings.
Working with a...
That's the video. Now, let's move on. How are Neptune and Uranus different? The semi-major axis of Neptune's orbit about the Sun is about 30.6 astronomical units, roughly 2.8 billion miles or 4.5 billion kilometers. What is the real year on Uranus? The real year on Uranus is about 84 years. Those are facts about Uranus. Thank you for your time.